Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Armanas, good morning. Karina, good morning to you. You're home. I'm happy I'm home, to be honest with you. I think you can't drink anymore. To be fair, I'm not drinking much anyway at the moment, so I'm just trying to eat kind of sensible. So, yeah, so I was actually on the stream the other day when I started getting that pain. Now, I'd had it before, but I kind of just shrugged it off. I tend to shrug things off a little bit that, okay, mark it as that. I tend to shrug things off and don't do something about it. And I'd felt a bit rough, over the last sort of couple of few weeks on and off. And then that pain got pretty unbearable, to be honest with you. And I had a hot temperature as well. So, you tend to go down the 111 route in the UK. You phone 111 and they ask you a bunch of questions and they said, we'll send you out an ambulance. So I ended up going into accident emergency and I was in there for the best part of 12 hours, I would say, where I was sort of poked and prodded and tested and all the usual stuff. And then eventually I got to a temporary ward and then a normal ward. So, yeah, so to cut a long story short, I had a couple of different scans while I was in there and I've got stones in my gallbladder. It's a relatively common operation, but my kind of blood pressure was up or down. It wasn't right anyway. My bloods weren't right. I had a hot temperature. But over the next few days, I had antibiotics. Every 4 hours in my arm, I had blood thinners. I don't know why, probably because you're laying down all day. And a few other bits and pieces. And I started to feel a bit better. I saw my surgeon, which he looked about 12 years old, to be honest with you. And he said, you've got two options. You can either stay in and we can schedule you for Friday. This was yesterday. He said, but because your bloods have improved, it's likely someone more serious will go before you and you'll get bumped and they'll discharge you. So I said, I'll go now. I might as well go now. I didn't feel too bad. So I'm scheduled in. I'm waiting for an appointment. It's they've told me 4 to 6 weeks to get the gallbladder removed, and hopefully that should, well, you won't get any gallbladder problems when the gallbladder's gone. So, but yeah, it's just, and to be fair, it's weird when something like that happens. I've always been pretty healthy. I mean, I've been in hospital in the last 15 years twice. I think that's just for. Because I did karate for such a long time, I had little bits of cartilage at my knees, but I've never really been ill with anything, so it kind of takes you by surprise. But I'm so glad to be out. There's nothing worse than being stuck in hospital with a load of nurses running around waiting on your hand and foot. But no, it's pretty boring. There was one lady, it was a sort of a ward with a bunch of bays. There was one lady in there with dementia. It was constantly screaming, morning, noon and night. There was a guy next to me. He'd had a bang on the head with some really old guy, lovely old guy, but he just kept going on and on and on, rabbiting on and on. You don't kind of get much rest really, but I'm so glad it's nothing serious and I can be released. So yeah, basically just waiting 4 to 6 weeks. So fingers crossed, everything will be fine. I'll be back to normal. So I only really missed Friday and yesterday. Nothing really happened yesterday. To be honest with you, having a quick look at that, when I was in hospital, I was watching a little bit of it, but there's not really much you can do. Maybe a lower high there, I don't know, but I didn't miss anything there really. So, and same again, more chop. It's all kind of in the same area. I'm not quite sure why, but it's been performing well lately, isn't it? But let's see how we get on anyway. So I did look at this. My only slight concern is we didn't get back to the bottom. So it is like a channel with a break a new high, and it is off the key entry point strong bar, but I've literally been out shopping with my wife. She's taken a couple of days off, so I've only been literally in front of the charts for about 10 minutes, so I like to give myself a little bit of time to settle. So Let's see how we get on. So we got a channel with a break and a new low. Let's see if we bounce here. So we could be a leg down, 3 attempts to push higher, followed by a second leg down. It's hard to say. So it might be a short stream today. I'm just going to do probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then I still feel a little bit delicate. Oh, that's a thought. What I haven't done. Let me just check everything opens.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just do that again. It went a bit yellow initially.
Order submitted.
Yeah, okay. So
order cancelled.
Everything's working fine. Beautiful. Okay, let's see how we get on today. So we may missing something here. Can't see my measured. Oh, there they are. Measured legs. All right, I'm looking at this. As we push down, we made 1, 2, 3 attempts. There's always that possibility that we may come down here. So it may be a couple of attempts. See what happens. There's actually a failure there. Second entry short triggered. It's probably not a terrible trade. I prefer the bottom of that a little bit close to that. I think sometimes the bottom of that body, the tighter it is to that EMA, the good chance it's got to go for a second leg. So, yeah, it's just something here I'm not massively keen on. It may work, but I'm quite happy to leave that. It is right in the middle of this. It is really a failure. I mean, you could argue there's a second edge short there which is triggered, but it's going a little bit sideways, I think. That's what it feels like. So I'm just sitting tight here. Other chart, same again. It's not giving us anything super clear, so it may work, but I think it's a good idea to just do nothing at the moment. And rightly so. If you entered that trade, you'd be a little bit concerned now. So it's just, there's nothing really. It's a little bit, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't wrap me up. If I'm going to take a trade there, I want that bar there to be sat tight as can be there. So I'm quite happy to leave that. And now you've got 3 bars stacked side by side. So another good reason to leave it alone. A little bit congested. That one's not far off a doji. I mean, it has worked. It's irrelevant though. So channel break, no high. Sometimes not a bad trade that, but we're not close enough to the tops really to think about going short there. Irrelevant whether it will work or not. So something like that, a leg and a short there wouldn't be a bad option. Okay, so any liquidity on there has just been cleared with that. So a lower high from here, I think, wouldn't be a bad option. Nice looking bearish bar. If we can get a lower high, I'd have a go at that. Just going to get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted. I mean, there may be a bigger channel there. But I think it's range rules, so tough one. It's tempting that, but I think there may be a bigger channel there, but it is range rules. It's a tough one. It's a little bit congested, so I think I need to sit out on this one. It may work, but I'm just not massively wrapped. There's something about it I'm not a massive fan. It does fit in a channel, which means we've got to break. It may push higher, or it could come down. You really don't know. You just have to make the best decision you've got, and it is a lower high, granted, but it is also possibly in a channel, so it's just it's not the easiest decision there. So if something isn't clear, the simple answer is just to let it go. I got no problem with that. Doesn't bother me. So would have worked, but I got no problem believing it because there is a possibility of 2 channels up there, and that's what makes me a bit nervous. Yeah. Dan's saying it's just a first entry in his opinion. Oh, took it though, I think. Oh, okay, unless he was talking about something different.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, I don't think there's a worse trade in the world, but it's just hard to know. It may be like that. There's always a possibility. You just don't know whether it's going to pop above it, but not sure. Yeah, so Thomas Wade didn't. He said he's looking for a new high. I don't think you necessarily have to have new highs in a range. It's more about shorting the tops and buying. It's not as important. But there we go. See, there's a channel there with a break of new high, so technically it's played out. But you can do it the other way. That's why I just kind of left it, because I was a little bit uncertain.
It varies, really. I don't think it's amazingly important, to be honest with you. I've got 7 days on this chart. On my second chart, I think I usually have 3. I've had 3, 4, 7. Does it make a difference? I don't really think it does. I've got 4 on this one. This is the chart where I have break at end of day disabled. So you just get a slight little difference in here. Sometimes it can give you a bit of trade, but I don't even think it matters, to be honest with you. I certainly wouldn't have any more than you think you need. What have I got on here? 7 days. I like to be able to have a little look back. But do you need a lot? I don't think you do. So I won't worry about it. A couple of days, few days, doesn't really matter too much. Obviously, the more days you have loaded, the more time things take, and probably slower it goes. Your system goes, but I don't know how much is too much. But no, I don't think it really matters. So, possible triple. Do I want to take a short here? Not really. I don't really want to trade in the middle of this because if you're shorting at the top, you've got much more chance of winning a trade and vice versa at the bottom. But in the middle, things can just... See, technically, we've had a channel in a break and a new low. We made a few attempts. So this is starting to look like there might be a second entry short, but we've bounced 3 times. So it may trigger you and push up to... It's hard to know. So... There is a second entry short there. Do I really want to go short into that? Not really when the channel's played out. Now, these are range rules, so it may work, it may not, but I don't know. It's nothing interests me in trading here, so I'm just leaving it. It's a little bit choppy. There is a second entry short. Technically, the bar's not brilliant. It is below that EMA, so it may go down, but I don't know. It doesn't rattle my boat. It doesn't float my boat, sorry. But we've had a break and a few little bounces. So if we bounce, bounce, bounce and push up, it's probably got more likely chance it's going to go up, which means we didn't get to the bottom. Now, is it going to break above liquidity here and then push back down? That may be a factor. But it's just trying to work out. It's okay when it's going from top to bottom, short the tops, buy the bottoms, if that's you want to do it. But you never quite know when it's not going to reach a bottom or when it's going to break. Now, yesterday... Don't often get many days like this where it chops all day. It's been pretty good lately. There's definitely more trades around. I've been chatting with a few people when I've been away, and there's definitely more setups, but that is as pretty much as a tight choppy range as it gets, really. I'd say most of the day was kind of in that sort of 10-point area, I suppose, most of the price action, really. Obviously, we got the little pops out the tops and bottoms, but that's about as choppy as you can get. Good days, mind you. A lot of people say it's a good time to have a day off, but the trouble is often you don't really know till later in the day when it's kind of too late that it's going to do that, because you never know what it's going to do. But it's been for a phase of doing this a lot, but the last couple of weeks things do seem to be settling a little bit and it is moving a little bit nicer. But I don't know if there's any news this week why it's just doing a little bit of chopping, or there's something I don't know. What's coming of all this Trump, Zelensky, Putin stuff, I don't know, but it's unusual just to continue like that. Things seem a little bit more calmer. Well, things seem smoother at the moment. We've managed to continuously get all-time highs, but we're having a little bit of chop. So why? Who knows? But we came nicely from the top. We cleared out any liquidity there, and they had a good strong push down, but we didn't get down the bottom. The previous time we came down the bottom, we didn't quite get low in them. So is this starting to lose that down momentum? Are we starting to get that push up to maybe test this area up here? I don't know. We didn't get to the bottom, so I'm not interested in taking a short here anyway, really. You just don't know what it's going to do. It's not as high as I'd want it anyway. just a little bit uncertain of what's going on. So if you took that short, you might be getting a bit concerned now. So we're getting a bit of congestion now. So I really got no idea where this is going to go at the moment. As we didn't get down the bottom, if it's losing that downward momentum, you tend to think maybe it's going to push up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we broke above all this. But ultimately, there's not really much you can do around here. Yeah, my gut is telling me this is going up above all this. Whether it'll stay up there. Test kind of up here, I think. We've had two bounces of these lows, cleared out anything, so I think we do leg and a leg, which gets us up to this sort of area up here. That's where my gut thinks is going to get us somewhere kind of up. Let's say around, by the time we get up there, it's probably going to go a bit sideways. Somewhere around there, that's where I think price is going to aim towards. Clear this little bit of some stops up there. There is a higher low there. Trouble is, very tempting to do that. Certainly looks like it's going to do, but if you look about this, it's just congested. My gut is telling me it's going to push up there, but it's nice to have these gut feelings down to experience and stuff. But I need to trade on what I'm seeing, not what I think is going to happen. And at the moment, what I'm seeing is congestion there. So it's hard to know, really. So the simple answer is it's congested, so I can't take it. My gut tells me it's probably going to do that. But better to trade on what you can see and what the market's telling you right now rather than what I think is going to happen. Yeah, Thomas Wade just said second entry long, which was that one there, was tempted, but it wasn't fully at the EMA. In fact, it's there right next to that one, that one, that one, that one, everything to the side. So you've got to be aware of that because it can get you into trouble. It's very easy to go long there. Trouble is it might go up a few ticks, trigger you, and then come down. So these two bigger legs will quite likely equate to two smaller legs. Depends where you take them from, something like that, which will take them right where I think price is going to go, leg and a leg, or the larger version of it. I'll be surprised if it doesn't break above there. If it does break above there, then it'll get into this area here, I think, and that's kind of where I think price may start to turn. Okay, so you can see it broke above then, it had that quick little spike up. There's bound to be shorts there. There's 100% channel down there. A bunch of attempts to push higher, may go down lower. So as soon as we got above that, we had that quick little point or so of a spurt. So we're getting right to this measured, it's not going to sit this measured leg there about, somewhere abouts there. So yeah, I don't think it was the worst trade in the world there, but it is in the middle of there and I'm going long up here, which is close to the top of this. So the sensible thing to do really there for me, I mean, if you want to take a riskier trade, then certainly worked. But I just have to look at what price is currently telling me, and it's telling me it's sideways. And when price goes sideways, obviously, any trade you take, the risk goes up a little bit. So I'm quite happy to leave that. It don't bother me about leaving it, because if I took that trade and it didn't work, why didn't it work? Well, sometimes some people say they don't work, but I think a good reason why that wouldn't have worked is the fact that I went long at the top, close to a top of a little range when it's completely congested. So the simple answer is just to leave it alone. So we know where it went. Now what's going to happen? So let's just clear this up a little bit. Yeah, something told me, well, you can see we're down here. We didn't get quite low. We didn't get, we got 2/3 of the way down. So that tells me it's losing that down momentum. So I think it's going to release the pressure up here. Overnight highs here. Yesterday's highs up here. So just need to sit tight, I think. Okay, as it's got up here, I wouldn't be thinking about taking a short until it's at least broken the daily highs
So channel, nice, tight, clean channel with a break. You'd quite likely expect. Trouble is, you know, we're clearly ranging, no argument there. Most breakouts fail, but under these circumstances that were so close to the highs, I wouldn't even consider failure until we broke it above there, really. Well, I say a failure, a failed breakout. Trouble is, it's had quite a strong move up out of it, so it may just mean at the end of the day we're just in a bigger range. In fact, I'm quite happy to put that up there now. Okay, so channel break, possible second entry long. Now, two things will happen here. It'll either come back into the range or it might come down here. We may get a second entry long and it may push up. It's hard to know, really. I personally wouldn't want to go long. So the answer is, would I take a long failure here? Not with that looking like that, I wouldn't. Hey Bob, how you doing, buddy?
Speedy, how you doing, my friend? Trade Green, how you doing, buddy? Trade Green, I think you're a new face, aren't you? Literally just an extension of yesterday, really, isn't chop, chop, chop. I'm hoping if it can't get any further, are you a lurker, right? Fair enough. What was room for them? Push up, a little bit of sideways. It could still push up, clear overnight highs. I'm not sure, or it could drop down. My gut is telling me we're losing a bit of downward momentum, so I wouldn't be surprised, but just going to sit tight here, I think, at the moment. In fact, I'm going to take a few minute break in a minute. In fact, I'm going to do it now, actually. I'm just going to take a few minutes and make up tea. I haven't fully recovered from my ordeal yet, so I'm just making sure I'm drinking plenty of fluid. So while it makes up its mind what it wants to do, a couple of pushes back, it may push up, it may do, but I don't want to go long into these highs, so I'm just going to leave you guys for 3 to 5 minutes while I knock up a quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, I didn't really miss anything. I still can't do nothing here, short-wise, because this is starting to look like we may be getting something working up. So we may get 2 legs down. It may push up. It's a bit too early to tell, but there certainly could be this. It's just second entry long. There's a higher low. There's bound to be some short strap there, but is it wise to go long there? I don't think it is, because it may trigger and come down. It's clearly sideways, so I think, you know, my gut is telling me it may be pushing up, but it's not super clear, so we do nothing. There's bound to be some stops there, but the trouble is nothing else up here, so I can't see it pushing up strong even if it went. Hmm. Leg and a leg. Mm. It's very tempting. Not really much you can do. Possible leg and a leg. Is it going to go up or is it going to collapse down here? There's not really much you can do, in all honesty. I'm going to bring that in a bit closer. Touch, 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 touch. Touching at the bottom. Could have a leg down, a leg down. It may come down, clear that wick there, and then push up. Nah, it's just looking like a range at the moment.
you just never know really what it's going to do. I mean, it doesn't look much now, but if it bounced off here, bounced off here, bounced off here, bounced off here, it would work. But just not sure about that. Stopped out at break even before it dropped 8 points here. It's certainly losing momentum. We had 3 attempts in, it dropped a little bit, then it went sideways. So it's just hard to know whether the thing's going to come down or have 2 legs and push up. But so channel down with a break, 1 attempt to go higher, see if we get another couple of attempts for a second leg down. My only concern is short in this low. Every time you can see we're down here, then we're up a bit, then we're up a bit. Is this as low as this is going to go? That's the trouble. I mean, it may come right down here. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, but we chop, pushed up. So now we've broken above all this. We may push down low, but it just concerns me when I see that doing that. And oddly enough, perfect bounce. Oddly enough, look where that bounces. Channel break, new low, so it's played out. Is that going to push up? It may do, but at the moment it's still a bit sideways and it's a little bit unclear, so I wouldn't automatically want to do that because it may come down lower. You can bet there's going to be a lot of liquidity on here, so what can you do? Nothing really. It's a bit unclear. I mean, I've put that there, and funnily, is it random it's bounced there? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but but we could also make a triple test and then push down. So it's kind of not set in stone. We have our ideas, don't we, and our theories about why price is doing what it is at the current time. But until it's really clear, that's kind of all they are, really. Educated theories, nothing kind of more, really. We need some proper direction, and this thing is just, it's a little bit unclear. See, we got a channel down there with a break and a new low. We pushed above the EMA and immediately pulled back down. Doesn't mean it's going to go down. May well trap some shorts and continue up. It's just not clear at the moment. See, looking at this chart, there is a higher low there, which is finished really tight there. So as we know, we are losing that downward momentum, but sometimes as we've broken above it, it may push right down and break below it. So I'm just not going to take a trade there. But we got a channel with a break and a new low and a strong move up. So it may not be the worst trade in the world, but it's just a little bit uncertain. It's getting the direction right. It's very easy to go along there and this thing comes down. So can it come down? Yeah. Can it go up? Absolutely. But up until now, this is my second chart, by the way, we're ranging mainly in this area and we've had a break above it and we've pushed below it and we've come back up to this kind of main area. Does it continue high or does it drop? It certainly could drop and clear out any of this lot. But we just don't know. So it's a failure here to go long. Might not be the worst trade, but then, you know, you could always take this stance. Maybe there's, see how it's bouncing off that midline. Maybe it's a two-tier chart. It's hard to say, really. As we know, getting the direction is probably the hardest part of this job. Now, this direction could do one or two things here. It could push down or it could move up. We could end up having a leg up and a leg up. And while there's so many coulds, woulds and probablys, It doesn't give us really any strong indication that a trade that we can take a trade. It's just uncertain. There is a high low there which is triggered, and we're back to the EMA. Now we seem to be holding here, which may indicate that might work, but it may just do the complete opposite. So there's too many ifs and buts at the moment. So I'm just going to sit tight. I mean, we did come up to this area, and when we've been up here before, we did, you know, we made a relatively strong pullback. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do the same thing. So if we came down and bounced off this underside and gave us something like a second entry short or something, that may interest me. But yeah, see what I mean about that one? It looks tempting because you think we're above here, we're moving out, we can't get down the lows, so it must be going up. You take a trade, triggers you, comes down, stops you out. So sometimes these markets really kind of show you there. They indicate they're doing one thing, but when you've been trading a while, it's not all kind of black and white. So, you know, we could have this, a couple of attempts to go lower, strong move up, strong looking higher low on top of this range. You're thinking, yeah, okay, must be going up. We've made multiple attempts to go lower. We can't get down there. Let's go long. Triggers you, stops you out. Yeah, it's not all straightforward. It's just getting that direction right. Do I go long or do I go short? If you get that right, you're 3/4 of the way there. So look at this. Is that, I mean, look, the last time we got down here, we bounced off that line. We've done it again. Is that significant? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I've been trading long enough to know now. These areas you've got to pay attention to, but I certainly wouldn't decide to go long there because you never quite know. And ultimately, really, where are we at the moment? We're right in the middle of this trading range. Trading range that does seem like it's looking momentum. Losing momentum, and when it looks like it's losing down momentum, the tendency is to think long, and then you end up seeing something like this. Potentially, you know, we pushed up, strong back, really strong move up, right tight to this. Very easy to think long, go long, and it does the complete opposite. So market as a way of kind of giving you an indication it's doing one thing and it does another. So all these kind of areas and trades I'm looking at, they're trades that you kind of process, but most of them are trades you just leave alone because they're just not, we know how finicky this market can be and how it can look good 1 minute and then as soon as you get in it turns around and stuffs you one. So really the best thing to do is just to leave it. See, it bounces all these times here, and as soon as we get down here, you're thinking, I've got to go long here, it's bound to work, and all of a sudden it does the opposite. So well, it's funny you should say that. On my other chart, I have got, you on about this? We're on about something wider up there. Yeah, I've got that as a possibility. You're on about something like this, are you, bud? And about something like that. Yeah, we kind of are chopping down, aren't we? So it's hard to know, but I've got that on my other chart anyway. So yeah, that's the trouble. There's so many different ideas, isn't there? Another reason why I never considered that. I mean, it's very tempting. You know, we had 2 attempts to go lower. Couldn't get below there. We bounce. You know, you may even call that we've pushed up from a triple test. Look, bounce, bounce, bounce. There's bound to be stops up here, isn't there? Trading short back into the range. So maybe this is going to clear them all out. And it does the complete opposite. So
The trouble is, when it's like this, things are not always what they seem. You know, when it is chopping, I mean, really, it's just ranging at the moment. It's just a wider version of congestion, really, isn't it? So when it is like this, it can be a little bit unpredictable at times. So what sometimes seems like it's doing one thing and it does the complete opposite, like there. So any traders going along there, woof, straight down. Took that out relatively quick. So it does just at first glance look like an extension of yesterday. We're pretty much, with the exception of this little drop early morning or overnights, we're pretty much working in that same kind of area, aren't we? Kind of at 98%, 99% of the day really is kind of in that area. So nothing at the moment is telling me it's going to do anything different. So the only areas we really can trade is up here and down here, really. And have at least a good chance of it working. Okay, so we got Dan's chart, Mac's chart, pretty much what I got. Slightly higher on there. I'll adjust that in a minute, but got the same thing as me there. Little break and a new high. So when I look at that, yeah, it's tempting. Do I think Mac could have taken that? Yeah, I do. My only slight concern is there wasn't something larger, but he's got more or less the same thing as me. Same here, not a larger channel. But yeah, it's a lot easier to mark charts when they're just ranging, really, because most of the time the tops and bottoms are more or less in the same place. See what I mean about that? It's very easy to be thinking along there, bouncing along that line. All of a sudden, it just does the complete opposite. So we're more or less along the same lines. Got that little bit there, channel there with a break new low. So yeah, nothing's different really. So it just seems another one of those days. Mind you can still get trades when it's like this. As I say, if I can even get 3 or 4 trades a week, it's plenty enough to make money. So I would expect it to come down here now. If we can get down here with a nice strong bounce and a higher low, I'll be interested in going along there. So now we're broken through this. It just pretty much looks like a relatively straightforward range day. We got some tops down here, but we broke above it. So yes, pretty much just ranging, isn't it? So So we've been looking for a higher low or something off this bottom. We've come up to the top. Higher low I'll be looking for.
We did break the overnight lows by a tick as well, so I'm just going to grab an order here
Order
just in
submitted.
case we get anything interesting. Just had a message from Sam. I haven't spoke to him for a while. Oof, that was a quick drop. Okay, let's see what happens here. So we've cleared anything along there. So we were initially ranging here, then we pushed up. So my gut feeling is we may well have a little drop there. And when it was stacking up side by side, we need to find out what's happening here. This doesn't all of a sudden look like there's a load of buyers. Well, maybe there is. See if we can get a higher low. A higher low from here, I'd probably have a go at because it's a fail break out of a range. Strong bar that though. I never take those first ones. If it's going to stop you out, usually it'll do it then, which may mean there is something larger coming down. It's hard to tell. But a higher low, I'd have a go at. Higher low, fail break out of a range. So let's see.
So even if it is slightly wider, we've had a break and a new low. In fact, we have a breakdown, 1, 2 pushes down. So it's a tough one there. Not sure whether I count that in or not. Okay, so Dan's got, oh yeah, more something similar. So I'd like a higher low here. Okay, see if we can get a short failure here. Second entry short, triggered and pushed up. Okay, folks, I'm going to call it a day for today. I've traded for just over an hour and a half. I feel tired this afternoon, I do. So I'm going to take it easy today, first day back. So I'll leave you guys carry on. Best of luck to you. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow. So bye for now.